and this all of this is a speculation because we don't know what UPSC wants. I'm just speculating on the basis of what I did and what worked for me. So anyone who thinks, I mean, I just hide it. I would like this to be a little interactive. So can you tell me what a good answer would look like? Like, what are demands of a good answer from UPSC perspective? I'm saying this so that I can sip on some of my tea and I can hear you guys. मतलब एक अच्छा आंसर सोचने में क्या आता है दिमाग में, क्या होना चाहिए उसमें? IBC इंट्रो बॉडी कंक्लूजन होना चाहिए, और वर्ड लिमिट शुड बी अडेयर्ड टू, अदरवाइज कंप्लीट होना चाहिए. अगर हाफ अ पेज लिखोगे, वर्ड लिमिट कम लिखोगे तो मार्क्स कम मिल सकते हैं. एनीथिंग एल्स? गुड स्ट्रक्चर शुड बी देयर. या examples, yeah, examples should be there. That is very important. Examples should be there. So I just collated few points here and there. The first one is addressing the demand of the question. So if you don't understand the question चाहता क्या है, and ये बहुत होगा तुम्हारे साथ, that you will read so many things in GS 1, 2, 3, that ultimately when you finally sit and write the paper, you will be writing things that you know instead of things that they want you to write. For example, sometimes you'll get a question on social justice and you have read something amazing on unemployment. You'll go ahead and writing that about unemployment. You would want to fit that in that question, but they're not asking you that. So this is very important. You should understand what the question actually needs, because अभी क्या हो रहा है, if you see previous year papers, you'll find 2-3 लाइनें question आते हैं, एक statement होगा, and then they'll describe something about that question, and then they'll ask what do they want from you. So what happens is we are so constrained and we are so focused on the very first part, we start writing about it, and what he's actually asking, we often miss that. So this is very important, that you should address the demand of the question. For that you need to understand the demand of the question. How you will do it, I'll take an example and I'll show you. Identifying different parts of each question. So you know each question can have different parts. For example, if it's a 10 marker question, you know there are two different kinds of question, 10 markers, 15 markers, right? 15 markers के लिए 3 पेज दिया होता है UPSC ने, 10 markers के लिए 2 पेज दिया होता है. So usually क्या होगा, 15 markers में they'll be explicitly asking you 2 or 3 different parts. So your job will be to answer those 2-3 parts, giving each of them the equal amount of importance. For example, 15 marks है, they've asked you 3 parts, then you should know 5 marks each at least मुझे तीनों part को देना है. It's not like तुम्हें एक के बारे में ज़्यादा पता है, so you're writing a 2-pager on that, and then the other 2 you're just writing a 1 page on that. So you should identify demands and address these demands properly. And usually क्या होगा, जब तुम question देखोगे ना, you'll start encircling and underlining things. That's how people usually do it. And if you start practicing, you will get the knack of it. Then the next one is directive words. For example, this analyze, एक तो हो गया analyze, critically evaluate, ठीक है, analyze I've repeated somehow, comment, discuss, describe, examine, elaborate, illustrate. These all are usually found in the end of the question. So you'll find long articles written on this online, describing each one of them differently, but I think a lot of them are very similar. For example, if you see analyze, if he's asking you to analyze something, okay, if he's asking to comment on something, examine something, or elaborate on something, for these keywords answer will more or less look similar. For analyzing, commenting, examine, elaborate. However, if you see analyze, then जब किसी से analysis करते हैं, so last में उसका अपना analysis लिखते भी हैं. So you can actually write that when he's asking you to analyze. When they're asking you to comment, that means they really want your comment on this. So towards the end, you can say that okay, unemployment is this, but don't use I think, because first person usually use नहीं करते. But you can write a comment of what you think about what you have written in the answer. And try to write positive things, moving ahead, unemployment इतने से इतने कम हो जाएगा, whatever. But they actually looking for your comment on the question. Examine, elaborate, these 4 are more or less similar, but when we consider of the keyword critically evaluate, when we talk about critically evaluate or critically analyze, so now this time what does critique mean? Critique means finding both ends of it, writing the positive parts as well as the negative part. So when they are asking about critically analyze, that means they want you to analyze it critically, to give a for side as well as an against side, and probably give a middle path towards the end or something. So that's how critically analyze, discuss is similar, is different. Discuss is also similar to critically analyze, where you write both the parts, because discussing something means debating something, and in debate we have a for team and an against team. So when they're asking you to discuss, then also you are talking about both for and against side, maybe towards the end you're concluding somewhere. So illustrate, okay, this is different. Illustrate, what is the meaning of illustration? Illustration का क्या मतलब होता है? Here I'm not a teacher, please chill karo. I am just like you guys. You can talk to me, you can tell me. Illustrate means examples, right? Or a case study. So when they are asking you to illustrate on something, then they're asking you to give an example for that, a solid example from a real life. So that's how illustration is different. So if they're asking you to comment or something, or discuss or analyze something, you are more or less welcome to give an example. But when they're asking you to illustrate something, you are bound to give an example. You should give an example so that this answer become more effective. So these are my 2 cents on the keywords. Now the next one, application based practical answer. So this is very important, which I did differently from 2021 mains to 2022 mains. By the way, I gained 58 marks in mains. I gained 6 marks in interview, but 58 marks in mains from 2021 2022, because I completely changed my answer writing approach. So I'm telling you about 2022 approach, not the 2021 approach. This is one thing that I changed, that my answer became more practical and application based. So whatever he's asking, you should give practical examples, you should write more government schemes, you should write case studies. For example, if they're talking about some SHG initiative, you should have a solid case study from which state of India, which SHG, what is its name, what it has done. And you can make a column like you can write something like a case study like this in your answer sheet, make a box, and then on a heading you can write the SHG name, place, and then in brief you can describe it. So that's how you make your answer more application based. And believe me, a lot of people can't do this because सबके पास case study नहीं होती है. But this is a part where you, because now you are going to write in 2025, this is a part where newspaper readings become very important. No compilation is going to give you this. अभी तक नहीं है ये. I don't know why, but someone can see this video or any other video and release a compilation on this. But case study compilation अभी तक नहीं आया. Example compilation शायद आया होगा, but I don't know. But this is something that I and my friends used to collect from newspapers. Newspaper में अभी आप देखोगे Indian Express का annual awards होता है, best governance award, something like this. In that they award administrators who are doing, you know, great things with their initiatives. So from there you can make the proper key of these, case studies. And if you're writing case studies, your answer will be very different from all the other people, and it will be more practical and more application oriented. Last is positive approach, that I have already talked about.